Hey, this is Cover, and in this video, I'll cover everything you need to know about the new Lancer class. This new class is called the Forger Lance. It has a 2-star difficulty, and its roles are Damage Dealer, Positioner, and Protector. Just like pandas switch between drunk and sober states, Forger Lances alternate between the armed and unarmed states. Holding the lance puts you in the armed state, and if the lance is on the field, then you are in the unarmed state. When the lance is summoned, a square glyph appears around it. If the lancer is on this glyph, then he's considered as armed, and he can use his spells that requires the armed state again. Ending your turn in the armed state reduces the damage you receive by 15%, whereas when the lance is on the field, allies within its glyph reduce the damage they receive by 7%, and this includes the lance itself. The lance can be killed. If that happens, the lancer goes back in the armed state, and the lance can immediately be resummoned. You can use the epilogue spell to get your lance from anywhere on the map, but you only get your AP back if the lance is within range. The Forger Lance has spells available in every element to summon the lance while dealing damage around it and applying different effects at the same time, such as pushing and pulling. Also, it has multiple spells he can cast on the lance once it is on the field to deal damage around it. Let's have a look at tanking spells. Valkyr's Embrace is a single target spell that reduces the damage received by 12 and erodes your attackers. Holmgang is a spell that puts you in the unmovable state and makes you reduce long-range attacks by 50%. A glyph also appears around you, which pulls enemies who enter and damages them once per turn in the caster's best element. Using the spell also ends your current turn. Phalanx is a spell that applies shield points 2 cells around the caster and around the lance. Parade is a spell that reduces the damage of the next attack you receive in close combat by 75%. If you get hit in melee, you deal damage in your best element to the attacker and you push him back 2 cells. This effect can only be triggered once, and casting the spells end your current turn. Oriflame is a spell that heals, increases range, and increases pushback and critical resistance in an area of effect around the lance. Chivalry is a spell that heals the caster and gives him 2 MP. So looking at utility spells, there's a spell that unbewitches targets in an area of effect and increases the caster's power. You can also teleport yourself and lifesteal in your best element in an area of effect. Swap yourself with the lance, or move entities around the lance. Being mono element seems like the best option because many of your spells hit in your best element and there's no multi-element spell. Agility is oriented towards pushback and seems decent for PvP because almost every spell pushes, and then you also have a spell that removes pushback resistance. Intelligence just deals damage in an area of effect. Strength is nothing special either, it's just area of effect damage. And chance is the only element that looks somewhat playable at a distance. I've gathered a few questions that I think most people would have. First of all, does the damage come from the Forger Lance or the Lance? All damage comes from the Lancer himself. This is good to know when playing with melee idols, so you don't have to worry about your Lance's positioning. Can the Lance be pulled, pushed, teleported, or transposed? The Lance cannot be pulled nor pushed. However, it can be teleported and transposed. Can the Forger Lance retrieve the lance of other Forger Lances? The answer is simply no. Okay, so how does the class fit in the meta? For PvM, honestly, I don't find it viable, at least for endgame PvM, because you have too much area of effect combined with pushing, which results in idols being too painful in melee, and almost all your spells are made to be played short range. Chance used to be good for long range on beta, until they nerfed the interesting combos for it, so I don't find it viable anymore. As for PvP, I think agility with pushback damage is probably the only viable build, and having lock and dodge is perfect for walking around enemies and getting to your lance easily. I think Ankama needs to buff intelligence and strength, and give them something to make them unique and stand out from other elements, because they really have nothing interesting to offer. As for chance, in my opinion, they just need to remove the linear condition on some spells, and make Jormund castable twice per turn, and that should be enough to make the element playable for distance. As for agility though, I think it's playable, and you're gonna find a lot of agility pushback lancers in Colo, and it maybe even in 5v5 because it's pretty strong. I'll link a good set for that in the description below if you want to check it out. So that's it for this video. Let me know your own views on the Lancer class down in the comments below, because I'm curious to know, like, maybe I missed something important, which could change my views on the class. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you want to see more, then make sure to leave a like and subscribe.